Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hard Rim. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I have a special guest. I have Joe Souza from Monster Mag. How's it going, Joe?
Going good. How about you, Travis?
Excellent, man. Excellent day. Excellent day. So, tell us a little bit about Monster Mag.
So Monster Mag focuses on New England independent horror. We've have a bunch of different artists, authors, all sorts of different contributors, people who do interviews and panels at local horror conventions, things along that line, contributing to this magazine to just show you everything from comics to reviews of independent movies, interviews with maybe some actors, some local producers, even just some old school Fangoria shots of gore, some stories like old heavy metal magazine, things along that nature.
Nice, nice. So, and I understand that your first edition is coming out this summer.
Yep, we should be shipping hopefully by the end of this week. We The digital is already online for free. Everybody can check that out at monstermag.com, monstahmag.com. The first issue is for free. You can just check it all out and grab a subscription if you want.
And it's a great idea when it comes to a monster magazine. I think there's like one or two out there, and there's some hardcore horror fans like me that loves to have a publication that comes out that we can read all about horror. So, what made you decide to start a horror magazine?
Well, first off, I was a big fan of Fangoria growing up. That was one of my favorite magazines, and I pretty much being a kid of the '80s would just go right to all the slasher pictures, just right to the special effects, the gore, skip over through real quick and look at all that before I even read anything, even if I could afford to buy it. But
Yeah,
and I was also a fan of Heavy Metal magazine because they had all the different comics and all the different, stories that were just kind of a little you wouldn't find on the normal shelves. And Heavy Metal, still a great magazine. Fangoria is still a great magazine, but times have changed and it's just not that bloody, slasher gore that I wanted to see in Fangoria anymore.
it's definitely
And
censored.
we were thinking of bringing something like that back, and it was really important to us to do it in print as well. To be able to have something that you hold in your hand and that you can put away and keep and build a library of, because there's just too many, magazines that publish online, and you just have to go online and read it myself. I'm not a big fan of that. I kind of want to just have it, see the covers, see the art. It just doesn't hit the same for me unless I'm reading it, and actually holding it. Um, so we really wanted to get another magazine out there, and we really wanted to get something that would showcase the New England creators and get New England, because I mean, I really feel New England is the heart of horror in the country. That's where it all really started. We're the oldest, we're the oldest part of the country. So we have the oldest ghost stories, the oldest, folklore and tales that go along with, the land and stuff around here. So, and of course we have Lovecraft and all the other great, things that come with New England horror. So we really thought that it was a great, genre to get out there and share with everybody. And we also produce a horror convention, and we just had so many different creators and authors that would be willing to work with us and had so many stories they want to get out. It was just kind of the next natural step to get everybody together and get exposure for everybody.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about your horror convention. Is that in the New England area as well?
Yeah, right now they're in Massachusetts. Our first one was about 2 years ago now. It was in Fairhaven, Mass. It was a small convention that I wanted to really just focus on the vendors more than blowing it up to an autograph, convention. We came with Rock and Shock and Scaricon all around our area, and they just went away after the pandemic, and there was really no place for horror, vendors to really showcase their work. And I really wanted to add a bunch of friends who were all looking to have a show, and we thought maybe if we put together a small, venue, maybe 20 vendors, a show for maybe a day, people would come by. We could, at least see each other. We haven't done a show in so long. Nothing was happening after the pandemic, and it just kind of blew up really fast. The small venue thing went out the window right away, and we ended up having to expand the venue and ended up getting about 60, 70 vendors. We only did about 4 or 5 guests again, so we could focus on the vendors. And we really tried to keep it balanced so you weren't walking into a room full of pops or a room full of, all the same prints, all the same mashups of all different, so you're going to find everything from collectibles, artists, authors, really, curated. We try to get some really unique, from sculptors to, just people who do all different kinds of art. You're not just going to find prints and things along those lines. And we just kept growing from there. So we got a bigger venue for our next one in, Taunton, Mass, where we are now. This year, we're actually focusing on a 3D because it's our third Monster Expo return. So it's part 3 in 3D. Everybody gets a pair of 3D glasses when they come in. We'll have 3D screenings all weekend, panels talking about how, 3D affected horror movies and stuff like that along the lines. So it should be a good time.
That's pretty awesome. And that's in October?
That's October 14th and 15th.
Okay. And you can buy tickets online?
You can visit monsterexpos.com and you can grab tickets from there.
Awesome. Now let's shoot back to the magazine. So I've seen that in the first edition, you're going to be having an interview with one of the most iconic, I'm going to say, directors, movie producers, distribution guys, Lloyd Kaufman, Troma. I'm a huge Troma fan. I'll be doing a video soon, my top 5 Troma movies. So how did that come into play? How were you able to get Lloyd? I know it's a 50.
We have a girl that works with us, Melissa Potter. She did the interview. She has a show, Mad Mel, a radio show in Worcester, Mass. So she had actually done the interview with Lloyd, prior on her show and got permission from him to, do it in the magazine and some pictures from him. So we put it all together. He was more than happy to help. And we really wanted to focus on someone pretty much in the area, than seeing that they're out of the Jersey, New York area and have been around for so long, and a much smaller movie making company having more of an independent feel. We really wanted to feature them in the first issue. We thought it'd be a perfect match for a New England independent horror movie.
Awesome. Are you a Troma fan?
I'm a huge Troma fan. I definitely, I don't know if you can see behind me, we're kind of in my basement here. So I have a lot of the sculptures and stuff that I'm working on. All,
Nice.
Like a lot of paper mache, cloth mache, stuff like that. Because we used to just make, pretty much Troma ridiculous type movies with ridiculous monsters and, things like that is pretty much how I came up. So
Nice.
Huge Troma fan. It was just kind of great to watch that stuff growing up in the 80s and, what they did back then.
It's amazing. Now, what's your favorite Troma movie, you would say?
Definitely Toxie. I mean, he just started me in on it all. The Toxic Avenger. I know it's pretty cliche, but it's definitely my favorite one. It means so much to me, that movie.
See, I wasn't a fan of the first. I would say the first 3, but part 4, which was Toxie Citizen.
Yep.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one, and it was because it also had my favorite Troma character, which is Sergeant Kabuki Man. He was also in it.
Yep.
It was definitely a win-win.
It was just, I never saw anything like it when I first saw that first Toxic Avenger, when I found the tape at, my local VHS rental store, and I brought it home, and I was just like, what is this? It just changed my whole taste in movies.
And the first way I got introduced, I'm a kid from the 80s too, so I got introduced with Toxic Avenger and Troma because of the cartoon, the kids cartoon show that came on, which was Toxic Crusaders.
So, which is just crazy to show you what they'd make cartoons out of in the 80s,
Yeah. So I was a huge fan. My little sister and I were huge fans. We had action figures and everything. And then my older sister, she was probably she's 7, 8 years older than me. And she went and rented Toxic Avenger 3.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, like when the intestines were being pulled out, I was like, well, this is not the character on the cartoon.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's my first introduction to Troma, and Toxic Avenger was the cartoon, Toxic Crusaders.
I definitely remember the cartoon.
So Joe, I actually did a video a couple months back. I'm a huge horror convention fan, and I did a video. It was called 5 Things I Hate About Horror Conventions.
Yep.
Probably one of my biggest videos. So I'm gonna ask you 5, but name 2 things that you hated as a horror convention goer that it drove you nuts.
So luckily for me, I don't think I've ever been to a horror convention where I wasn't vending. So
Okay.
I didn't have I always had that like spot to go back to. But my first pet peeve, even though I'm vending and I had that spot to be, was just the crowds at the bigger ones, where it's more like a Six Flags experience, where if you want to do something for the day, you better pick two or three celebrities that you want to meet, and
Yes.
you're going to spend the day standing in line to get their autographs, and most of the time probably be just rushed through, and just spend your day most pretty much all standing in a line.
Yeah, that is definitely a pain. I mean, especially we go to the bigger ones like Steel City and even like
Yep.
Monster Mania. It's There was a time that you could go on a Friday evening and there would be no one there. You would just go in and out. But now, even on Fridays, it's just line after line. And I was talking to someone recently. I forgot who it was, but I was talking. I said I felt bad. I felt bad for the vendors because people come and they spend all this time in the lines for the autograph and the photo ops, and by the time they're done, they don't even get a chance to even go to the vendor section. And I feel like the vendors are losing out.
That was one of our biggest pet peeves with the shows, and a lot of the shows are built on the backs of vendors. It's the booth rent they get from the vendors that start paying for all these shows and paying for the venue, and a lot of times they're the last people thought of. All the money goes into advertising the celebrities and to bring people through the door, and a lot of times like I said, the vendors are just the last ones to even be brought up, if they're even brought up at all. It's like, yeah, we have a vendor room. A lot of shows you're lucky if they even take the time to build a vendor list, never mind actually put up each vendor and show what they have and give them links to their pages and things like that, so maybe they get some more business out of it.
And that's one of the things I do when I go to horror cons is I spend the majority of my videos talking to vendors. I try to talk to at least, my goal is always 5 to 10 vendors to give them a
Yeah.
quick plug. And because they are like you said, they are the backbones to any horror convention. The reason the majority of horror conventions exist are because of the vendors, not because, I'm not saying the actors are not a big part, but the vendors contribute a huge amount to.
In the majority of the time, I mean, most shows, the bigger shows I've been to, they're just crazy busy. They can't, hold every vendor's hand and give you the attention that they give the celebrities. I understand that, but a lot of the times it's the celebrities that are making you feel more wanted or more appreciated than the venue itself. They're the ones, telling you like, hey, we all signing stuff for free, like, oh, we're working together, like, I wouldn't be here if you weren't here, just as much as you wouldn't be here if I wasn't here. The majority of the celebrities out there are so great to work with, and really, remember where they came from and want to help the vendors.
They really are. I agree. I met Corey Taylor from Slipknot. He was
Yep.
at the last year, and he took all his autograph money and he literally spent it on buying stuff at the vendors,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
which was super awesome. Which was
Yep.
super awesome. And I'm glad to see that's happening. All right, so when it comes to your magazine, so if I was a horror vendor, let's say I'm a horror artist, how would I get in contact with you if I wanted to put an ad and to get some more
Well,
recognition for my business?
if you want to just do advertising, you can just email advertise@monstermag.com. You can reach out to us through the social media on Facebook, which is just Monster Mag, and we're also on Instagram as Monster Mag as well. So
Okay,
someone will definitely get back to you shortly and help you, send you the options for advertising, things along those lines.
okay. And if there's someone out there who wanted to maybe have an interview, is that an option as well?
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for horror directors, creators, producers that want to get the word out there, about a show that they're doing, a movie they're creating, a project they might need help on. We offer free classifieds for anybody who wants to put an ad in. Maybe you need a cameraman, an FX guy. Maybe you're an FX guy that needs a gig, get your contact out there. But yeah, we definitely want to look for projects that we can cover. And we're also looking for people that would love to go cover those projects. We just trying to put every of these creative people together pretty much, find the writers, people who want to do the interviews. We have authors that send us stories, and then we find artists that want to do the artwork for the stories, and we lay them out and print them all up and get them out there and put them on the online and get the writers and the artists the credit that they need for it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And but guys, listen, definitely check out Monster Mag. You said the digital issue is already online.
Get digital issues online at monstermag.com. You can check it all out for free. It doesn't cost you anything to read the whole issue.
Awesome. And then check out also to Monster Expo in Massachusetts in October. Now, are there VIP tickets for sale
Yeah,
as well?
we do a VIP ticket. We have VIP. We do an early entry Saturday. You get a canvas tote bag with a bunch of goodies from the vendors, and we have, I guess you get 3 exclusive prints if you get the VIP weekend. You get the Saturday print, the Sunday print, and the exclusive VIP print, which is in 3D. You pair of 3D glasses, you access to the VIP lounge, front row seats for the movies, front row seats for the panels, all that good stuff VIP comes with. And we definitely try to keep our door prices low, so you can still visit our vendor room. Saturday's only $20 online. Sunday's only $15 online. Right now, I think VIP starts at 45 for Sunday, maybe 55 for the Saturday and 65 for the weekend.
Not bad at all. That is not
We're
bad at
trying to
all.
keep it low. We're trying to keep it, we only do about 8 to 10 guests, and we try to get every guest signing under $50, so you're not going to break the bank getting their autographs. Most of the guests will do, actually all the guests will do photos at the table, so you don't have to spend that photo op money to get that done. But a couple of them will actually have time slots where they'll do in costume photo ops at the tables as well. So you're not going to spend 110, 150 bucks to get that in costume photo op. It's going to cost you the 50, 60 that they charge for a table, photo instead.
Sweet. Now, are there going to be any local New England celebrities there?
So Penny Dreadful, I don't know if you know, Penny's a horror show host out of Worcester. That the things that she's done, she's been in the circuit forever. She joins us for most of our shows. She's real fun, great to meet. She'll be doing some of her, her Shilling Shockers shows. She'll be hosting those as we run them throughout the weekend. I think that's the biggest New England, guest we have. We have Tim Clark from Boglins and Dark Crystal. He's coming back. He's a Connecticut native. He moved out to New Mexico, but he's flying back into the show. We've had him before. He's done so many things with Jim Henson and a great guy to talk to. Also created Boglins and Sectors. We'll be bringing a bunch of Boglins out for everybody and signing them.
I actually met him at Retro 80s Kid. I actually met him at RetroCon, and I actually have it right here. I actually have it right here. This is my
Alien Boglin.
Yeah, and he actually autographed it for me too. So super
he'll
cool.
be coming back up. He's in New Mexico now, I believe, but he'll be coming back up in October. He'll be there on the Sunday.
Awesome. All right, guys, definitely check them out. Joe, thank you for coming onto the Horror Room. We are definitely going to make the trip out to Monster Expo and cover your event in October as well.
Sounds good.
We're definitely going to make the trip. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. Take care. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.